Hey guys, the biggest arsehole in the Assassin's Creed community here today, and welcome back to another video on Assassin's Creed. Today we're going to have another little Assassin's Creed discussion video. The last one of these I did is what the recent Assassin's Creed games have done wrong, and today I'm going to be doing a video on why I love the EZIO Trilogy so much and why I think it's so fucking good, because as you guys may know, I always go on about how good the EZIO Trilogy was for Assassin's Creed, and I'm going to actually go down just the reasons why I think it's so fucking amazing, so people that don't understand why I like it so much can understand, because it is my favourite part of Assassin's Creed, and I do know that it is a lot of other people's favourite part of the game as well. The EZIO is a very, very highly regarded part of the game, and you know, he does kind of deserve it because he's a fucking amazing character. And he's obviously my favourite in Assassin's Creed and possibly in any gaming series out there. So yeah, let's get straight into this fucking video, guys. So one of the reasons I like the EZIO Trilogy so much is probably down to nostalgia. I mean, I played Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood and Revelations when they came out, and obviously I'm gonna feel attached to those games, and I'm gonna absolutely love the shit out of them because I played them when they came out and I enjoyed them so much at the time. And you know, that nostalgia brings it all back, and that's one of the reasons why I you know, regard the games in like so highly, because of the fact that I've known them for so long, and you know, they've been around for a while, and I enjoyed them so much when they came out. So when I think back to them now, I'm like, yeah, they're amazing. But I have played them recently, and they're still fucking amazing games. I still love the EZIO Trilogy so much. But in comparison to newer games that are coming out nowadays, they're probably not awfully great. Like, technically the newer games are better, but you know, I guess I do love the games due to that nostalgia that I get from playing them, because it just feels like old Assassin's Creed. It's just like, yeah, this is when the series was like at its highest, in my opinion. They can definitely bring the series back, but the EZIO Trilogy so far for me was when the series was at its highest and it was just awesome. And even, you know, Assassin's Creed 4 was pretty fucking amazing. They definitely brought the series back a bit with Assassin's Creed 4, but the EZIO Trilogy is definitely, you know, I regard it so highly because of nostalgia. Another thing I liked a lot about the EZIO Trilogy was its simple gameplay. Now, it didn't have any of these things trying to make the combat, you know, different and innovative. It had none of these like random gimmicks like the rope launcher or anything like that, which I really didn't like, but I see why it was necessary for the setting that it was in. But the EZIO Trilogy had incredibly simple gameplay because they just built on the Anvil engine, which was used for Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood and Revelations. They built on it each game, and I loved the gameplay in the Anvil engine. It was great. It was simple, but it was incredibly effective, of course, because I fucking love the EZIO Trilogy games. It's just got that simple ass combat, you know. It's just got like the counters, the combos, and disarming and grabbing people and throwing them, and it was just very simple combat system, but it worked well, especially to take on a load of guards at once, which is something that I personally really enjoy doing in Assassin's Creed. It also had very simple climbing. You run into a wall, you climb up it, no fancy animations and like twists and spins, just kind of climbing up the wall and then, you know, getting on the building, and it was all perfectly fine. It all worked very well because they weren't trying to be too ambitious and just like making the animations like flourish and have the assassin do all these spins as they're climbing around and stuff. And it was just all very simple, probably because of the time it was made, but you know, it was simple, but it was incredibly effective at the same time. It also had really balanced customization in the EZIO Trilogy. Like in like the newer games, either there's too much or too little customization. Like Assassin's Creed Unity had way too much customization, in my opinion, and there shouldn't have been that much. There was just so fucking much custom. It was ridiculous. Syndicate doesn't have an awful lot of customization at all, and you can play the whole game without doing any customization, and it's perfectly fine, and you know, it doesn't really affect the game at all. But in the EZIO Trilogy, they had that balance. Like, if you wanted to get more health and more synchronization, you could fucking get those armor pieces and do all that. And they had the special armor as well, and they had the shop armor, they had the shop quests in Revelations and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and it was just really cool. I really enjoyed the customization in the EZIO Trilogy. Also because it built on the robes you already have. Now in Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Syndicate, once you get a new piece of armor or new an outfit or something in terms of like Syndicate, it completely changes the look of your character. Like it completely changes it. In the EZIO trilogy, if you'd get, say, metal armor, it would then go onto Ezio's robes, and he'd be wearing the metal armor over his robes, which I really liked, because I do enjoy having that assassin, and then having those as his original robes, and like, if that's that assassin's robes, you know, we know him for wearing those, and not just kind of having it how Arno was, where it's just kind of like, yeah, it just, he can wear fucking anything, because there was so much customization in this fucking game. But yeah, the customization was very balanced in the EZIO trilogy, and if you wanted to get the best armor and weapons in the game, you had to put work in. Like in Assassin's Creed, all the EZIO games, you had to do the tombs. So in Assassin's Creed 2, you had the armor of Altair, you had to put the work in and get the seals to get the reward out of that. So you had to get the armor of Altair, and if you wanted to get the sword of Altair, you still need to further get more florins, so then you could pay for that and get the best sword in the game. So if you did want to get the best armor and weapons, you had to put work in, instead of being able to, you know, buy microtransactions and just get the best armor immediately, or to keep grinding one mission over and over and over again to get a certain amount of money to buy a piece of armor really early on in the game. You actually have to work through the game to get that special piece of armor, especially considering that in Brotherhood and 2, the tombs aren't actually available until you're at a certain point in the game, so you actually have to progress in the game before you get the best armor and weapons, which I like, because you get to see how your character progresses through the game, instead of just getting all the best armor and weapons straight away. Something that I also really loved was building up the Brotherhood in the EZIO trilogy. So you had the rebuilding of Monteriggioni in Assassin's Creed 2. That was awesome. I really liked seeing how Monteriggioni progressed, and like how you got more florins back after you invested more in. That was really fucking awesome. And then I also loved rebuilding Rome in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That was fucking awesome, because you just get loads and loads of money. Everywhere would look much nicer, because you know, the Borgia Towers would be influenced by the assassins, and then you'd have all the shops looking great, and they won't be all run down. And you could also have your Brotherhood, so you could have your assassins that you leveled up, which I fucking loved so much. I loved seeing my assassins progress and sending them out on missions and getting a message saying, oh, they've come back, and then you can go and level them up and spend things on what you want, and then eventually you'd have all fully upgraded master assassins that you could then utilize in combat. And it was, I loved that so much. It's such a shame they took it out of the games. I'm pretty sure it's in Revelations as well, but you know, it's a big shame they took it out of the games. I also really loved the repairing of the cities and stuff, because you could see it progress. Like, as you went around buying the different shops and investing in them, you could kind of, you know, buy stuff from those shops, and you end up getting more money in your bank. And eventually the whole of Rome, or the whole of Constantinople, was under the assassin influence. And then you had all this money, and you were like, yeah, I can see that fucking progression. I put the work in, and now I've got a reward out of it, which is what I love. I just love seeing progression in games, and how your gear and, you know, things that you've put time into, I love seeing them just grow and just progress and become better and better and better, which is why I loved upgrading Monteriggioni and putting florins into Rome and doing all that stuff. It was really satisfying to see everything, you know, fall into place and just get more and more money, so I could buy more armor and weapons, or more pouches, or more dyes, or spend it on other fucking things. I have no idea, but I just love rebuilding places. It's something that I really would love to return in the next Assassin's Creed game. And I'd also love to see the assassin recruit system return, because that was awesome. I really like that. It was kind of in Assassin's Creed 3 in a way, but it wasn't as customizable as it is in Assassin's Creed in the EZIO trilogy. And, you know, I'd love to see it return how it was in the EZIO trilogy, and maybe even a little bit better. Like, you can go on missions with your recruits, which would be fucking awesome as well, to different places. And obviously they'd have, you know, you couldn't go to fucking everywhere, because that means you'd have to design loads of different missions. But I'd love to see if you could go on different missions with your recruits, like you could in Assassin's Creed Revelations, when you were kind of doing the Master Assassin missions with them. That was fucking awesome. So yeah. Now we're going to stop talking about gameplay and we're going to talk about the actual story of the EZIO trilogy, which I think was so fucking amazing. You had, you know, just the progression of the different characters in the game was fucking awesome, and it also had those cliffhangers at the end of the games. Literally, there was a cliffhanger at the end of every game in the EZIO trilogy. The ending of Assassin's Creed 2, you had Minerva show up on that first Civ. Ending of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, there was a huge modern day cliffhanger, and at the ending of Revelations, there was also a huge modern day cliffhanger as well, where it kind of panned into the cave, which was the Grand Temple, and it was just fucking amazing. The story in Assassin's Creed, the EZIO trilogy, it was so great, and also the ancestor story was amazing, not only the modern day story, and EZIO as a character was just so fucking great. He's one of my favourite characters in any game ever. I fucking love EZIO. I don't know why some people don't like him and they prefer Connor, and just don't really know how they can like Connor more than EZIO. It just doesn't make any sense, because he's got that perfect mix of being a badass and being jokey and funny and just, you know, getting stuff done. He did so much for the Brotherhood and you agree with the things he does, whereas with Connor, I spent a lot of the game not agreeing with the actions he made and just kind of thinking, wow, Connor's the bad guy in this game, and, you know, he didn't do an awful lot really. He kind of just did his own stuff and then died alone. But the story in the EZIO trilogy was amazing. I loved the progression of Ezio's character, from him being like a naive, like just guy in the first game, and then you can see his progression the most from the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2 to the end, because he becomes this like wise master assassin by the end of the game, and then Brotherhood is the prime of his life, and then Revelations is the twilight. So you get to literally see Ezio's entire life from the moment he's born and then to the moment he dies in Embers, if you watch that, which is awesome. It's great to have a character and then feel so attached to him, because I was really fucking sad when I saw him die in Embers. It's a really sad moment, and you've got, you know, the Salvation of Foley music playing in the background, and you've got his letter to Sophia, and it is a fucking great moment. And the only reason it was a great moment is because Ezio was such a great character, and we'd had him, and we'd had this progression for all the games, and it's just like, yeah, we love his character, and he was fleshed out so much during the games. Ezio was just fucking amazing. Another thing that made the EZIO trilogy so good was just the characters that Ezio was there to interact with, like Leonardo da Vinci, Mario, Paula, just all the people in the Assassin Brotherhood, and there's people that were his friends during the game. Like Leonardo da Vinci, it's never mentioned that he's a famous painter in real life. You just know already, because in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it goes around telling you all these famous people, look at this person's famous, we need to put it up on the screen so you guys know how historically accurate we are. And it's like, no, I prefer it if you just didn't mention and let me work it out for myself, you know, who this person is. And, you know, or just don't mention it in game, because it kind of ruins it for me, in my opinion. And this is a thing that a lot of us have talked about. Assassin's Creed Syndicate does it way too much. It tried to shovel loads of famous, you know, inventors and writers and discoverers and stuff into the game. They just tried to shove as many people they could into Assassin's Creed Syndicate, just to make people like, look at this, look at us, historically accurate, look at us, look at these characters. And it's just like, you don't need to do that. The EZIO trilogy kept it simple, had Leonardo da Vinci, and that was like it, and then you had, like, you know, the Borgias, who were like the main enemies in the game, and it was like, it was simple, it was amazing, and they didn't kind of shove the characters in your face. But Ezio had great relationships with all the characters in the game, and the chemistry between each character worked great. You know, you come to love the characters in the Ezio games so much. They're portrayed in a really well way, and, you know, Ezio has some banter with them when he meets them. And, you know, it's just fucking great. It's amazing. Also, the Ezio trilogy was set in a great time period during the Renaissance in Italy. It was a perfect time period, because you could have all these like Italian structures, like all this beautiful architecture and things, and it was a great place to set an Assassin's Creed game, which gave them the opportunity to create Ezio as a character. I'm so glad they decided to set it in Renaissance Italy and follow the character of Ezio, because it was literally fucking perfect. It's so good. overall, the EZIO trilogy was just fucking amazing. It's probably because I hold the games such high regard because of nostalgia and how much I enjoyed them whilst I was playing them, but they still are amazing games today, and they still hold up to be some of the best Assassin's Creed games ever made, and they just need to take things that people love from the EZIO trilogy and improve on them a fuck ton in Empire, because that game has got some insane features in it, like the building up of Rome and just like Monteriggioni, that I really enjoyed. And you know, I'd love to see them in more games, because I love seeing the progression of like your personal, you know, things and your gear and your weapons and your hideout. It's just a great thing, and it needs to be in Assassin's Creed Empire. It's something that I would fucking love so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, remember to drop a like and subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content in the future, and you know, all that good stuff. Do all that great stuff in the comments. Comment down in the comment section below what you think about the EZIO trilogy and what your favorite Assassin's Creed games are down in the comment section below. So I'll see you guys in the next Assassin's Creed video, and yeah, bye.